Good pause YouTube, 6fthax here, half for you guys today in Uber's Wi-Fi battle against the TheHoennNative. Of course, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer that like button down below to answer the question of the day. Hopefully you guys had a good Valentine's yesterday. If not, then hey, all the candy is like 50 to like 90% off. So go ahead, pick up some chocolate, some candy. I'm not encouraging diabetes or cavities, but hey, just pick up the candy, cause why not? If you didn't have a good Valentine's, then hey, you can get a whole lot of candy for cheap, so I guess that's better than nothing, right? So let's get this match started. Now going into this game, the biggest threat I saw on my opponent's team was going to be either that Solgaleo or the Zygarde 100% form, so I really have to find out what sets they are running. As he leads off with his Deoxys Speed, I actually led off with my Ho-Oh, expecting him to lead off with this because I was hoping that my Sacred Fire would not only put him in sash range but also get the burn. That way he could only get up rocks instead of getting up rocks and one layer of spikes. But as you saw, he ends up going for the T-Wave turn 1, and then this turn thinking that he would go for rocks and me not wanting to get paralyzed, I'm going to switch directly into my Arceus in hopes that I could go straight for the defog on the off chance that he tried to get up a layer of spikes. But no, he does make a really good play here and ends up going for the taunt, preventing me from being able to defog, although this isn't entirely too bad because I could possibly defog later in the match. But he's going to be able to get a free switch now into the Xerneas. Now Xerneas honestly isn't that big of an issue to this team because I have Primal Groudon and I have specially defensive Magearna, but he pulls out the substitute, which I was not at all expecting. And when I saw this, I got really scared because my only offensive move on this Magearna, this isn't my team, but the only offensive move on this Magearna is Floral Cannon, which lowers your special attack by 2, and he just went for the Geomancy, which increases your special defense, special attack, and speed by 2. So if it comes down to it, he could potentially end up behind a substitute against my Magearna, and that is going to be very bad. Luckily though, this first Floral Cannon is going to be able to break the substitute, but now I am at -2 special attack. But he doesn't know that I don't have the flash cannon, so I'm hoping that he either tries to go for the substitute or maybe he doesn't go for the Moonblast, as I'm going to hard switch directly into my Primal Groudon. Even after the Stealth Rocks, I should definitely be able to take a +2 Moonblast, as he is actually going to end up going for the Thunderbolt here, which is really good because now I'm in a pretty good scenario of where I can not only live a non-crit Moonblast, but I can put him in range of where he's not going to be able to go for another substitute, and then in return I can then bring in my Magearna to hopefully be able to knock him out. As I do bring him easily below 25%, he's going to follow up the first Moonblast by knocking me out with the second Moonblast. I was kind of hoping that my Precipice Blade would have been able to knock him out, but hey, it's fine because I've been able to kind of mitigate the Xerneas and prevent him from just wrecking shop on my team, and most importantly of all, he can't substitute. So I'm definitely going to live any one attack he wants to go for here as I chew that Moonblast. I'm pretty sure Thunderbolt would have done more damage, but either way, I should have been able to live, and in return, I'm going to be able to knock him out with the Floral Cannon. So that is one potential threat out of the way. Now all I have to worry about is the Zygarde 100% form and the Solgaleo, which he can either get a switch into a Solgaleo, his Zygarde, or even his Kyogre, but he does end up bringing in the Solgaleo here. Now I honestly do not know what Solgaleo does, so I decided just to stay in here and hope that he didn't have substitute on this as well, because what I'm going to end up doing is actually going for the Thunder Wave, but then he pulls out the Z Splash, which completely threw me for a loop. Now for those of you who may not know, Z Splash gives you +3 attack in your physical attack stat, so he's at +3 attack right now. Luckily though, I don't miss my Thunder Wave, and I do have a pretty cool move on this Magearna being a Heart Swap, which means I'm going to take his +3 attack and give him my -2 special attack, putting him at neutral physical attack and putting myself back at neutral special attack, as he goes for the Sun Steel Strike, I am going to be able to live, and this is really good because now that I'm faster than him, what I can do is go for the Pain Split and just try to get off a little bit of damage before he's able to knock me out. Either way though, at this point, I should be able to just bring in my Arceus to be able to knock him out with the Judgment, and now that I got off that Pain Split damage, I'll definitely knock him out, as I do just barely live the Earthquake. I'm going to go ahead and just go for another Pain Split because there's really no reason for me to keep my Magearna at this point. I can just leave it in here for Death Fodder and just weaken this Solgaleo so I can then Revenge Kill it, as he is not going to get fully paralyzed and is going to be able to knock me out with this next Earthquake, allowing me to get a free switch into my Arceus. And now that I think about it, I probably should have gone for the Defog first instead of going straight for the Judgment here, but I was a little bit worried that maybe he could do a lot of damage to me with the Sun Steel Strike, but there was also the possibility that he could have got fully paralyzed. Either way, hindsight is 2020, and just I definitely should have gone for the Defog to make this match a bit more of an even playing field, because I lost my Stealth Rocker and Groudon early on in this game. As he brings in the Primal Kyogre, you never really see Primal Kyogre just because of how good and common Primal Groudon is, but I lost mine, so now I have to deal with this monster, as I'm gonna go straight for the Judgment. I have no idea what this thing is gonna do to me, as he pulls out the Thunder. This man has 2 Thunder Waving Pokemon. What is this blasphemy that sickens me, man? Why do you love Yellow Magic so much? And then he's got the Waterfall, which is like, what? I'm pretty positive that Paraflinching Primal Kyogre is not a thing, but in this case it is going to end up working out for him, because I then get paralyzed on the second Waterfall, and that was a turn that I tried to go for the Recover when I probably should have gone for the Recover the previous turn instead of going for the Judgment, and then that way I could have kept my Arceus around for longer and potentially have got off more damage on Kyogre, or even gone for the Defog. As I then bring in my Lunala, I am Choice Specs Lunala, so I'm really hoping that I can knock him out with my Moongeist Beam here. If not, then he's gonna be able to just Thunder Wave me again, and this is really frustrating, because Lunala definitely would have come in handy against his Kyogre, and I do have the Ice Beam for the Zygarde, which, because I'm Choice Specs, I should be able to knock him out after a bit of power damage if he did transform into his 100% form. Luckily though, my Lunala is well trained, I don't get paralyzed, and I don't get flinched, so I'm able to knock him out with the second Moongeist Beam, as he gets a free switch into this giant threat of a Zygarde, and he's gonna end up going for the Coil, and I knew that my Moongeist Beam was going to do well over 50% to this Zygarde, so I was really hoping that I got fully paralyzed, and of course I don't. So not only am I gonna do a lot of damage to him, he pulls out the Citrus Berry, and then of course he's gonna be able to transform into Zygarde 100% form, which the animation for this is actually really awesome. I think this is my first time seeing it on Wi-Fi, and I really like it. Now, this isn't entirely too bad, because I have put him in range of where a Scarfed Ice Beam coming from my Kyurem White should be able to knock him out, so long as he doesn't knock me out with the Extreme Speed. Although he has that +1, Kyurem does have some decent bit of bulk, and I've only taken Stealth Rock's damage, so I'm hoping that this E-Speed doesn't knock me out. As he does go for it, I will be able to eat this up, and in return put down this giant bulky threat, and now all I have to worry about is his Giratina, which he could still win just because of this Giratina depending on his EB spread. Now if he is only running max HP and no special defense, my Draco Meteor can definitely knock him out after Stealth Rock's damage. So what I'm going to do here is try to sack off my Ho-Oh so I can get a switch back into my Kyurem, but he actually ends up going for the Dragon Tail, and Dragon Tails me into my last mon, which is my Kyurem, and I will definitely be able to knock him out with the Draco Meteor and pull out the victory here, except that I miss, and oh my lord, oh, I was so upset at that miss, because now I'm probably gonna lose this match. I had a 10% chance to lose this battle, and of course I missed the Draco, but he pulls out the Phantom Force. Now what this means is that he most likely is not a rest Giratina, which means that if I'm able to toxic him with my Ho-Oh, I may be able to actually win this match. So I know that I'm going to be able to live the Phantom Force, so what I'm going to do is just try and go for the Roost and then go for the Toxic. As I end up outspeeding him, this means that he most likely just went for the Dragon Tail again. As I do connect with the Toxic, he's going to Dragon Tail me back into my Kyurem, which is going to get knocked out by the Stealth Rocks. And now at this point, it's my Paralyzed Ho-Oh up against his Toxic Giratina, which means if I get really unlucky with Para-Haxes, then I can still lose this game. So it kind of comes down to a bit of luck, and hopefully Bad Luck Leo does not strike. So he is going to go for the Shadow Force here, as luckily I don't get paralyzed on this Roost. This is really good because now not only is toxic damage gonna start racking up on him, but I can definitely take another Shadow Force and then just constantly Roost off the damage, and as long as he doesn't crit me and then I get fully paralyzed, I'll be in a pretty good scenario in this game, as he's not revealing to me that he does have the rest. So I'm in a really good spot right now as he just goes for the Shadow Force. Again, I do decide to go for the Brave Bird. In hindsight, I definitely could have gone for the Roost, because now if he crits me and I get fully paralyzed, another Phantom Force, if I get paralyzed again, could potentially knock me out. Thankfully though, no crit and no paralysis, and I'm going to be able to be brought back up to full HP. And as you can see, Toxic is just really starting to rack up on this Giratina, and if he had the rest, this definitely would have been his best chance to go for, but he does not have it, as I'm going to be able to knock him out with the Brave Bird. And my Ho-Oh is well trained, as he's able to pull us out the 1-0 victory. So good game to Danny, aka the TheHoennNative. Now of course, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to hammer that like button down below, answer the question of the day. Again, hopefully y'all had a good Valentine's. If not, then I hope you're enjoying your 50 to 99% off candy and chocolate that you got from the stores. So yeah, with that being said, guys, I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure to check out the 2 videos on the end screen. So later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.